Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This one's going to be a real treat for all of you because it's going to be about longer stories. So let's get right into it. The first one is called The Annoying Coworker, posted by user Ancient Dollars. Sorry for any weird formatting as I'm on mobile. Just found this sub and after reading some stories was reminded of a guy who I used to be stationed with a few years ago. For starters, this story happened when I was still in the military, which I feel is kinda important because although I understand everyone has their own financial challenges, in the military we all get paid decently. So if you are in severe financial hardship, I have to ask what type of financial decisions you have been making for yourself. To give some background for this story, the coworker I'm going to talk about was having financial issues from the moment he showed up in the shop and was known to constantly ask to borrow money from people. As I was leaving work one day, I was approached by this coworker and given a sob story about how he hadn't eaten in over a day because his bank account was empty. When I asked him how that was possible, he told me he had to pay some vet bills for his dogs and that his wife had spent a bunch of his money. Anyway, long story short, I told him I was stopping to get gas on my way home and that if he wanted to follow me there, I would buy him a gas station sandwich or something. He said thank you and jumped in his car and followed me to the gas station. When I got to the gas station, I told the dude he could go inside and grab a sandwich, chips, drink, or whatever, and that I would go inside to pay when I finished filling up my car. After I finished pumping gas, I went inside to pay and saw the dude hadn't grabbed anything yet. I asked him what was up and he said he couldn't find anything he liked and asked if I could just give him cash and that he would go someplace else to get food. I told him I didn't have any cash on me and he quickly told me that I could just get cash back at the register. I told him that I wasn't going to do that and that if he wanted something to just grab some chips and a couple hot dogs or tornadoes. Just for reference, the hot dogs and tornadoes at the base gas station were usually always fresh because a lot of people stopped there to get them. So it wasn't like I was telling him to eat like week-old stale hot dogs or something. Anyway, dude said he didn't want those and tried to play the good wingman card in an attempt to get me to just give him cash. At this point, I told the dude I wasn't going to waste any more of my time and to either grab some shit here or get the fuck out. He ended up grabbing a sandwich from the fridge, I paid, and then we went our separate ways. The kicker to this story is that 2 days later, he walked into work with a brand new iPad. When another guy I worked with asked him how he paid for it, he said he put it on his Star card. For those that don't know, it's a credit card you use on base. Needless to say, I was pretty pissed that this guy was begging me to buy him food and then went and bought an iPad on a credit card. As it turns out, the dude ended up getting kicked out a year later for failing to meet his financial responsibilities as well as suspected drug use. Worst part was before I deleted him on social media, I saw him asking for handouts as a veteran that was down on his luck. The second story is called Nice Brag There, Choosing Beggar, posted by user Shankliest. My mom watches a neighbor's baby for free because the parents can't afford daycare. My mom is retired and lives 10 hours away from her closest grandkid, so she is happy to do this. In addition to the baby, this couple also has a 13 and a 7-year-old. They tell my mom they can't afford Christmas for their kids and ask if she can buy them gifts. I felt bad for them when my mom told me, so I bought each kid a nice gift, like $60 total, and my mom got them each a couple of gifts. My sister and I were both home for Christmas and made them a big plate of cookies and candy too. This is where it takes a turn. The Choosing Beggars say they can't come get their gifts. They need to be dropped off. Oh, and can we wrap them? They don't have time. It was like 10 p.m. at this point, so I told my mom, no. One of them could for sure come in and get the gifts. We aren't going out in a snowstorm at night on Christmas Eve. She called again, yelling at my mom and asking where we were. My mom told her she wanted to spend Christmas Eve with her children and grandchildren and asked her to come pick up the gifts. The woman hangs up, drives over and honks the horn and calls my mom to tell her to send out the gifts. Couldn't even come in the house. We run out the bags to her and the cookies and she just leaves without a thank you or anything. Here comes the Choosing Beggar Hall of Fame level crap. The day after Christmas, my sister runs over laughing to show me Choosing Beggars' latest Facebook post. A tree with like 100 gifts under it. And she posted a picture of the cookies, candy, and Chex Mix my sister and I had made with some caption like, "I've been a busy elf this year." Story number 3. But won't that computer just die in a couple years? Shouldn't you get us a Mac? Posted by user Silvaria. Pretty much as the title states, my dad had me when he was younger. I'm an adult and live on my own. However, he remarried and has 2 children under the age of 13. He has never had a lot of money, but almost all of his hardships come about from his own decisions. I remember what it was like not getting a computer until I could buy one for myself at 16 for my first job. The only computers he has currently are an old HP laptop I gave my sister years ago when I upgraded, and an Asus desktop he purchased well over a decade ago that I don't even think turns on. My sister comes over to see me for the holidays, and I noticed her laptop, the old HP, keeps crashing while she plays some horse game. This kid never asks for anything, and feeling the Christmas spirit, I decided to buy her a new computer. She is over the moon thankful. I bring her home the next day to my dad's house, show him the purchase, and help her get it set up. Soon as she has it set up and we leave the room, he looked at me dead in the face and said, "But won't that computer just die in a couple years like my others? Shouldn't you have gotten the family a Mac?" Jaw dropped. I straight up offered to send that shit back and was clearly seriously pissed at this comment. And he proceeds to defend his statement, saying both you and your husband have Macs though. Before causing any more damage to our already tumultuous relationship, I left and simply said I would call him at some point to discuss this situation, but had to leave. I'm still fuming. I just can't balance the anger toward my dad and feeling guilty my sister has to live in that household. Our 4th story is called My Kid, Your Problem, posted by user #DefTrueFalse. A few days ago, something happened that I thought this sub might like to hear about. I posted a while back about some cheeky bastard on eBay, but I've had nothing else CB worthy until now. For context, my significant other's mother, we'll call M, had 2 more kids after having my significant other many years ago, such that there is a pretty big age gap between my SO and her younger siblings, who are secondary school age, less than 10 years old. One of M's kids, who we'll call K, has recently started hanging around with some other kid, who we'll call OK, whose mother is our choosing beggar, intent on making her problems M's problems. So a while ago, K is at Choosing Beggars' house, only 2 streets away, playing with OK. M gets a text from an unknown number asking if she could drop off OK at school the next morning. Choosing Beggar had asked K for M's number to text and ask for a lift for her kid. No problem, M thought. Send OK over in the morning. The kid shows up at the door in the morning, gets a lift. That night, same thing. Choosing Beggar texts M asking for another lift for OK the next day. Sure, why not? 3rd day, there's no text the previous night. OK just shows up at the door in the morning like, "I'm here for my lift." Cheeky of Choosing Beggar to just send her kid, but whatever. M sees what's starting to happen already and texts Choosing Beggar to say she's happy to do her a favor and give OK a lift to school with K since she's going regardless. Just gets a "yeah, thanks" back. So for a few weeks, Choosing Beggar sends her kid to M's in the morning for a lift, but the kid starts showing up earlier and earlier, one morning arriving just as they were getting out of bed. OK has also started hanging around K at the end of the school day for a lift back as well. Again, not out of M's way, so she lets it slide. Then one night, OK gets a lift back from school and instead of going straight home, says to M, "My mom said you'd give me some food before I go." M is pissed with Choosing Beggar now, but makes OK food with K. She texts CB to say she's not her free before and after school childcare center, and she has enough people to feed already. Choosing Beggar says she didn't think it'd be a problem since you're already cooking for K. This happened 2 or 3 more times. Dick move. Final straw came when M's kids caught the... M texts Choosing Beggar the night before to say that her kids were sick and wouldn't be going to school tomorrow. M sees that Choosing Beggar read the text, but Choosing Beggar doesn't reply. The next morning, Choosingbeggars sends her kid around anyway. M sends OK back home. 15 minutes later, she gets a phone call from Choosingbeggars screaming about how unreliable she is for not still driving her kid to school, even though she isn't even taking her own kids. According to Choosingbeggars, M has created a huge problem for her now, the irony, and it was her responsibility to get OK to school. M reminded Choosingbeggars that she only takes OK because she takes her own kids and that she's the one doing the favor, which is apparently ridiculous and selfish. M also reminded Choosingbeggars that she has 2 sick kids to watch and can't go anywhere anyway. Nope, apparently they'll be fine for half an hour while you take OK. Yes, Choosingbeggars ignored the text from the night before on purpose so that she could try to send her kid for a lift anyway, got angry at M when it didn't work, and actually suggested M get dressed and get the car out just to drive a kid that isn't even hers to school, all while leaving 2 sick kids, her actual children, in the house alone. The kicker? Choosingbeggars is a primary school teacher. Apparently teaching other people's kids all day gives you the right to palm yours off onto other people. Also, doing favors for people can be deadly. No good deed. All right, everyone. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you like my videos. And I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.